Sorry, something went wrong during the broadcast. Do you have your... Oh, you're not... Oh, you are on airplane mode. Maybe take it off airplane just for...
You know.
Yeah, broadcast failed. Well, you're live on TikTok.
Oh. Okay.
It's not like super going, but maybe I'll have to do Instagram.
Sure. Do the IG. All right.
Yeah, say hi to our TikTok.
What's going on, TikTokers? How you doing, people? We love you. We miss you. Can't wait to see you. Love your interactions. Appreciate you. And engaging with us because it helps us have a dialogue with you, not just me up here flapping my gums. All right. So we're talking today about the emotional connection to food. Okay? And so I've got a fun story for you. One time, several years ago, can't remember how many, 7, 8, can't remember. A lovely person I know very well decided to devour an entire piece of German chocolate cake. You know who you are. I'm not going to call you out, Sarah. And so I came home one day from the clinic, and I went in the freezer where I had placed my chocolate cake that I wasn't able to eat the night before, or the weekend before, because everybody else was served a German chocolate cake with nuts on it. If you've ever been German chocolate cake, you've had nuts on it. It's like covered in nuts. So they brought me one without it on there, and I'm like, this is fantastic. Bring it home, like it's wrapped. I'm like, whoo. Now I'm a recovering chocoholic, so I came home from the clinic that day, and I opened the freezer because I like to store things because I want to eat it one bite at a time. And I'm like, where did it go? And I'm like, looking at the fridge, looking on the counter. I'm like, am I losing my mind? No, I'm not losing my mind. Honey, have you seen the chocolate cake? What chocolate cake? The one I put in the freezer? Yeah. I had a moment. This is what I was told. I had a moment. And she devoured the whole thing. So, your opportunity here is, if you like these interesting topics, let us know what you want us to talk about, because we're going to talk about the emotional connection to foods right now. Okay? So, how does chocolate fit into the life of a human being, right? It doesn't just taste good. It is related to our feeling like we're caught in the middle. You might be craving chocolate because you feel like stuck in the middle of two people, or some stress, like in between your boss and your coworkers, in between your kids, in between your parents, and whatever it is. You might just be wanting to feel better. You might be feeling codependent and need to relieve those symptoms, because if we back up a second, the basic premise is we're either drawn to food in order to relieve some type of stress or tension in our life, or we have a stress response to that food, so when we eat it, that drives us further into that feeling or that sensation or whatever that situation is. So getting back to chocolate. If you just want to check out, it's a really important one for chocolate, or if you're unable to resolve your stress. So chocolate's a really good one. Anissa chose that lovingly because she's heard the story of this a few times.
Both sides.
Both sides, yes. She's heard Sarah's story too. So that's how the emotions fit in for Sarah, and that's probably what was driving her. I don't remember the situation. I didn't have this knowledge then. I didn't do that research then. So I didn't know how to connect the dots and be like, you might want to look into this because it's probably affecting you. That aside, another one that people oftentimes have a challenge with is sugar. So they're either creating their struggles and they're needing sugar to drop it down, or they're having too many struggles so they don't want to struggle anymore, so that's why they eat sugar. Or they either feel like someone is emotionally withdrawn from them, or they want to emotionally withdraw from someone else or some situation. That's what sugar is about. Eggs and chicken typically affect the stomach. So chicken's a little bit different, but they kind of lump them together. Eggs come from chicken, so if you get the general idea. Feeling lost and alone, out of sorts, not able to connect. These are related to eggs and chicken. What else could it be? So what else? Soy is a lesser one, but it's in a lot of foods, and people tend to have sensitivities to it. So people don't typically crave soy unless it's, like you grew up eating edamame or something like that. But we oftentimes, if you're eating in the boxed packages, you're going to get a lot of soy in there. So soy is related to like emotional disconnection, feeling unable to connect, wanting to but being unable to connect with someone. These are just generally, soy seems to be a connector of some sort from the research. Corn, feeling unsafe, feeling ungrounded, like might even be holding on to secrets and stuff like that. That's what corn's related to. So if you're feeling that, like I got to hold on to my secret, I might be devouring a bunch of popcorn, or typically not corn on the cob, or frozen corn, but it's usually like processed corn. And again, a lot of products, if you're eating processed foods, have a ton of corn in there. So keep in mind how you might be unknowingly getting these things in your diet without even knowing it. Let's see, dairy. If you're feeling unable to nurture, unable to love, feeling held back or not being heard, those are the threads for dairy. So if you feel like you want to nurture someone else but you can't, or if you are unable to nurture yourself through a tough time, oftentimes dairy can be a crutch for people. We love our neighbors to the east here, Wisconsinites. They typically say they can't live without their cheese. I say, okay, that's a personal choice, but we love them anyway. And then gluten, so not able to hold things together, feeling out of balance or needing balance. So these are just a few of the many, but these are heavy hitters as far as the stressors go. You know, Dr. Turner, who developed QNRT, put these together based on his research and his information. And you know, there are no mistakes. Whether it comes to a condition you've been labeled with, or a symptom in your body, or the food you're craving, there are no secrets or mysteries to it. It's always driven by something. If you don't have a craving for it, you don't have anything processed. So you're like, oh, I don't really. Your friend or your spouse might be like, I really want these. You know, like, okay, they're working on something. So take this information and you know, step into the coach role, put on the coaching hat, and say, well, I watched this video the other day, and you might be craving that because of whatever. Does it have to do with me, right? One of the greatest opportunities for any of us doing work, whether it's counseling or QNRT or EMDR or Psych-K or NET or stuff like that, our opportunity is to take the information we get from those resets or those sessions and go talk to our spouse or our partners or our kids or our parents or whoever it is involved in there. Because while it might be scary at first, they're the greatest opportunity to bring you back together. Because if you remember that the greatest predictor of your health over the long term is the quality of your relationships, every one of us can do whatever, could potentially be doing everything we can right now to mend those relationships so our bodies will heal. Because if our relationships are stressed, it stresses our body. There's just no two ways about it. You think you're just holding it in your mind, but your body is your subconscious brain. As a result, whatever happens here, whatever you're mulling over and chewing on, and you know the thoughts and stuff like that, they get stuck in your body somewhere if you're not dealing with it. So that's my call to action for you right now. If you feel like this has been beneficial and you feel like you want to comment about what you're drawn to, feel free. But we want to know like what you want to, what information you want, what insights you're looking for. I call these wellness wisdom because it's like once you can have a deeper understanding of what's driving a behavior or a symptom or what's driving a diagnosis, then you can take action. So these are intended to help you say, oh, and now I have an insight into why I might be craving dairy or chocolate or sugar or whatever. And then I can go figure out what is causing me to feel that internal reaction, that angst, so I can go take action on it. So
Janet asks if EMDR causes other health issues to come out, like digestive issues.
Causes is a different way of looking at it. What I would say, Janet, is that what could possibly be happening is as you're being made aware of what the underlying stress is, or you're processing through the eye movement desensitization reset technique, if you will, it might be triggering certain things. And yes, then you can find something you become aware of or something you're processing has become indigestible. Okay, that's the concept of, remember, the alimentary tract, the food tract is about you accepting things in, ideas, situations, treatments, stuff like that, and or food, and then becoming that way. So yes, it could potentially contribute to that. It would be more the stress that's causing the reaction in your body, though. So I hope that answers your question. Cool. All right, people, we love you. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow for the Wellness Wisdom. Have a good night.